80.
Madam Speaker, the information requested by the Honourable Member is being compiled by the Economic Development Board and will be placed in the library of the National Assembly.
Supplementary. Has the Prime Minister given directive to the EDB a time limit for us to have the reply?
Yes. I am pretty sure that by, I don't want to be too committal, but in the next, at least next week or next 14 days, we should be able to have all the information to be tabled in the National Assembly. May I just remind also the Honourable Member that with regard, because I just checked this morning, with regard to all the commitments I've taken to table information, especially with regard to missions and so on, I have so far tabled.
Yes. On this question, next question.
Madam Speaker, the total expenditure incurred on overseas missions undertaken by senior advisors and advisors attached to the Prime Minister's office in that capacity since 1st January 2018 to date amounts to 1,528,257 rupees excluding per diem. The information requested by the Honourable Member with regard to parts A and B of the question is being tabled.
E82.
Next question.
Hello?
Is the next question
Oh.
B82?
Madam Speaker, I am tabling information regarding missions undertaken by myself. Information regarding other ministers is being compiled and will be placed in the library of the National Assembly.
One supplementary to the Prime Minister. Can the Prime Minister inform the House whether he has given any time limit for the other information to be tabled?
Well, that information will be tabled pretty soon again.
Can the Prime Minister please give assurance to the House? We won't have a reply. We have the reply before the dissolution of Parliament. Because when I went to the library, a PQ, which I asked on the 27th of March, the document was laid on 12th October. The question I asked was in 27th March, and the reply was given on 12th October from the library. So can the Prime Minister give assurance to the House that we have the right before the dissolution of the Parliament?
But, Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member is just saying that we have tabled the information, although it has taken some time. But again, I'm sure he is aware. Let me remind him. There was a question that was asked by a member of the opposition at the sitting of the 23rd of November 2004. And that member asked, why is it that the information that was being compiled since 2000 had not been laid in the National Assembly in 2004? And the Honourable Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister, replied, he will have to wait further. And that Prime Minister was Honourable Béranger at that time.
B106.
Madam Speaker, in April 2016, government agreed that a taxi desk should be set up at the hotels with a minimum room capacity of 50. This measure concerns 85 hotels. I am informed by the Tourism Authority that the status of implementation is as follows. A, 40 hotels have already set up a taxi desk. B, 12 hotels informed that taxi operators licensed to operate at their hotels were either satisfied with the current arrangements or not interested in a taxi desk. C, 22 hotels are in negotiation with the different stakeholders to finalize arrangements for the setting up of a taxi desk. And D, 11 hotels have not yet implemented the measure. As regards Part A, Roman 2 of the question, the Tourism Authority launched a tender for the implementation of an online platform for taxi operators based at hotels on the 16th of October 2017. By the closing date of 8 November 2017, 2 proposals were received from the bidders, one including development and maintenance costs, and the other with no cost to government, subject to a commission being paid to the service provider per transaction. Following advice from the Public Procurement Office, that tender was cancelled as it could not be considered as a procurement per se. Madam Speaker, a technical committee comprising different stakeholders, namely the Mauritius Tourism Promotion Authority, Central Informatics Bureau, Security Unit of the Ministry of Technology, Communication and Innovation, Government Online Center, and Tourism Authority was chaired by the Deputy Permanent Secretary of my ministry on the 2nd of April 2018 to look into the matter. The committee recommended that the Tourism Authority, being a regulator, could not engage in such a business, and that Tourism Authority does not have the technical expertise to manage and maintain such a platform. Moreover, it is not the mandate of the Tourism Authority to operate a platform and take financial charges for services rendered. It was also observed that developing an e-commerce platform only for taxi-based hotels would not be cost-effective, being given that 5 e-commerce platforms dedicated for taxi service were already in operation, namely Maurice Taxi, Taxi Service Mauritius, Alalila, Alanula, and Hugo. Madam Speaker, regarding Part B of the question, my ministry has received a complaint from the Federation of Hotel Taxis Association on the 13th of September 2018, but regarding primarily the intention of Uber to start operating in Mauritius.
Can the Minister inform the House whether there is a monitoring committee? I think I heard from the reply at the level of his ministry, including the LARIM, just to monitor the whole issue of this taxi desk, and whether there are scope for further developing this project.
Well, Madam Speaker, I have myself chaired meetings with the taxi federations, with LARIM, and all the stakeholders to see how we can change the business model of the taxis in Mauritius. Unfortunately, what is happening today with online booking that is going on not only for taxis but for hotels and restaurants and other activities, it becomes very difficult for the taxis based at hotels to get some customers looking for their services. So it becomes difficult because they have already pre-booked whatever they want to do in Mauritius. So I suggested to the Taxi Federation, why don't you pool resources together and have a platform for yourselves? But this is Mauritius, so people are very reluctant to change, and I'm still open to suggestions. We are prepared to help them to do that. But then I also see Federation of Taxis going on radios and TVs and whatever, on the online stations, threatening the tourism authorities, threatening they are going to go with sabers at the hotels. And when this happens, this is broadcast all over the world. And when tourists hear about this, you think a tourist is going to take a taxi? Of course not. So this is why I said to them, let us see how we can make the service attractive so that everybody wins in the game.